for example, in Canada, they were the first to allow an ETF, an exchange-traded fund, to be traded publicly with the underlying asset being Bitcoin. Now, obviously, when I see that, I'm realizing things are changing. And I'm looking at our deal flow and saying, look, everybody, I'm a believer in, I've watched the value of my Bitcoin from 2017. It was one of my best performing assets, obviously, and Ethereum. And I said, look, we should start to explore a relationship with the regulators and find out what we can do in the different geographies, because they're going to change their policy at different paces. Right now, the most advanced on earth is Canada. They have just licensed the first crypto exchange tied to a dealer broker. So that's a company called BitBuy. I'm very proud to say that I'm an owner of that. We acquired the company through a public company called WonderFi, one of my digital assets that I've invested in. And we're also, we've gone to Switzerland, we've gone to Lithuania, we're in Costa Rica, we're talking to the UAE. All of these areas are licensing new crypto exchanges. I really like the infrastructure of the internet. My whole point is, what changed is the regulator changed. They have become far more accommodative. And obviously, you know, I had a chance this weekend to talk to some of the senators here in the United States about their policy, and they're beginning to form committees to start exploring regulating stablecoin like USDC, regulating Bitcoin, regulating Ethereum. So I want to be part of that dialogue, and I'm very optimistic that I will be. And I think that this is finally the regulators are saying there's too much value in these platforms. Let's look at it.
Cryptocurrencies have attracted considerable attention and investment in recent years, including from large institution and high-profile figures like hedge fund managers. Many tout Bitcoin, the world's largest cryptocurrency by market value, as a long-term store of value. There's a raft of other, smaller digital tokens too. Shark Tank star Kevin O'Leary, aka Mr. Wonderful, has shared his cryptocurrency investment strategy. He revealed that 20% of his portfolio is now in cryptocurrencies and blockchain. Hello and welcome to Money Talks. In today's video, venture capitalist Kevin O'Leary talks about more sustainable solutions for crypto mining, his crypto investment portfolio, and what's in the future for cryptocurrencies after this year. If you like the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the post notifications. Let's dive right into the video.
You know, in 2017, I bought my first positions in Bitcoin and Ethereum. However, if you recall, and I'm invested in many financial services companies that are regulated by the regulator in multiple jurisdictions. So I have to report on a quarterly basis, sometimes a monthly basis. I have internal compliance officers and external auditors, and I also have to file with regulators in the geographies where we do transactions and we own exchanges, and and obviously when you have that responsibility, and particularly when many of these companies are publicly traded, you simply can't go offside with the regulator. That's not an option. And in 2017, the regulatory environment against crypto was toxic. They were very concerned that the tokenization of assets that were trading, not under regulated prospectus, particularly in the New York area, that people were trying to bring debt deals for real estate with tokens, and it was chaos. And my own compliance department said, look, we are getting signals from our lawyers that you simply can't get involved here because these are unregulated securities and breaching securities laws. That's 2017. Fast forward a few years, and all of a sudden we start to see regulators around the world, in Switzerland, in Australia, New Zealand, in Canada, in England, not the US yet, starting to open up to the idea that there's productivity available in not just Bitcoin. Bitcoin is one software, but also Ethereum as a transactional platform, and Polygon, and HBAR, and Helium, and Avalanche, and all of these other software projects. The biggest question for NFTs, and you're right, it's a very fast-growing asset class, is whether it's a security or not. When an NFT in its smart contract has a royalty associated with transfer of ownership, it is distributing capital. And that generally is interpreted as being a security, no different than a bond paying interest or a stock paying a dividend. But we haven't had a ruling on that yet. More concerning right now is what you said earlier, that there's a lot of scamming going on in the NFT space. So it would be much better for all of us, and I'm a huge believer in NFTs, if we could find some way of providing a new level of security so that you as an owner who have made an investment, whether you've done it on a centralized or decentralized wallet, should have some sense that there's security and an auditable position and a path to understand, when something does go awry or it's been stolen, that there is a way to pursue it. And we don't have that right now. So I would say investments in much more secure wallets and better functioning wallets would expand the NFT space geometrically. And so the biggest challenge that it's holding back NFTs, in my view, in terms of becoming investable with institutions. And remember, I always have my institution hat on because that's where all the money is. It's great that we as early investors in crypto, all things crypto, including NFTs, are willing to learn and spend our time and take risk out there. But there's billions and billions of dollars of institutional capital that wants to go to work there too, that we have not given them the compliance infrastructure yet to be able to do that. When I talk to institutions about NFTs, they say, well, is there some piece of software you have that we can attach to our compliance department now so we can openly buy, purchase, trade NFTs the same way we do stocks and bonds? That does not exist yet. Now, companies like FTX are working on that, and that's why I'm associated and a shareholder of XTX and a paid spokesperson. They had a fantastic ad on the Super Bowl last night with Larry David. It was very funny. And at the end of the day, that's why I invest in these platforms. We're going to grow it to be institutional grade, and NFTs will continue to grow in value because the institutions, just like Bitcoin, will be willing to trade them. It's one of the most exciting areas of crypto. You are absolutely right. Huge potential. You're talking about China banning Bitcoin mining, and there's other countries, including Russia, that are contemplating this as well. And you are right. What is driving this motivation are concerns about ESG. So let me walk you through what is happening with the capital. What I like to watch is the flow of capital. Where is it going? Because that will dictate what's going to happen in the mining industry. So 2 years ago, before there was any ESG concerns on Bitcoin mining, when the majority of awards were coming out of China, there was no talk about burning coal to make electricity that was environmentally harming Bitcoin. There were lots of miners, burning lots of carbon, whether it be gas or coal or whatever, to make coin, and nobody cared. And then you saw this movement with institutional capital. It really started with BlackRock, the largest institutional manager in the world that does a lot of sovereign wealth, etc. They put out a mandate saying, look, there are certain sectors of the economy that we no longer support. And one of those was anybody burning carbon, particularly burning carbon for Bitcoin mining. And so prior to this, the way that institutions were taking an allocation to Bitcoin mining was they would buy the stock of a company that was trading publicly that was a Bitcoin miner or Ethereum miner or data center manager, whatever. So they could get exposure to a Marathon or Riot or whoever it was that they decided to take a position in as a proxy for owning Bitcoin. And the way these companies were talking about becoming carbon neutral, at that time they didn't care, but as the pressure came on for ESG mandates, they started buying carbon credits. Well, that's not going to work because you're going to start to see in this year, I'm speculating, that these large institutions are going to start demanding audits, carbon credit audits. And you don't want to be in a company's stock that has the risk of a carbon audit because the truth is it's almost virtually impossible to show and understand the tracking error of a carbon credit versus what you're actually burning in carbon. So all of the money is quietly moving right now to new mining companies, most of them private, that are going to use hydro, wind, solar, and nuclear power. Because if you use any of those options for mining, there is no carbon audit. There is no offset necessary. You're not burning carbon. The majority or many of the turbine-driven hydro facilities around the world in places like Norway or upstate Quebec or Manitoba or British Columbia or places in the Soviet, with Russia now, they have abundance of hydro that is not captured.
The extended lean run of cryptocurrencies has not deterred businessman and Shark Tank host Kevin O'Leary, and he just disclosed that cryptos and related investments make up a significant chunk of his investment portfolio. The celebrity investor said in an interview that millions of dollars, or 20% of O'Leary's portfolio, is made of cryptocurrencies and blockchain. He also argued that Bitcoin is not a coin, but it's a software. When probed on the risk of some cryptocurrencies going under, O'Leary said he was hedged against the risk. He said, "You have to be diversified. I own 32 different positions, including equity FTX itself." Also, commenting on President Joe Biden's executive order signed this week, O'Leary said it wasn't an outright ban and therefore it's good news. O'Leary also said in the interview that he has exited positions in publicly traded Bitcoin mining firms following the executive order, although he remains invested in a private mining company. So what are your thoughts about the Bitcoin mining ban and the future of crypto? Tell us in the comments. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you soon with the next video. Thank you so much for watching.